speak, please note that 15 minutes is available to members of the public to speak. Yes, can you state your name and...
Yes, I'm Rebecca Haxby-Rose, and I'm just wanting to know where do we go now from here with the Green Tree Garden?
Well, go on, Claire.
The Green Tree Garden project will be put on the agenda for the first property meeting. Within that meeting there will be decisions made as to what and how we go forward.
Right.
Okay.
That meeting has not as yet been diarised because we don't know who's on the committee and as yet when that's going to be, but soon that should be done by the end of the week. And if there's anybody you know wants to be at that meeting, then please give me a shout and I'll make sure that they get the agenda and the time, etc.
Right,
Okay.
I just wanted to ask, so then will we get a surveyor out to...
That will be decided, depends on what is decided at that meeting.
Right, okay.
Okay. Yes, Mr. Rowe.
Yeah, I'd just like to say congratulations to everybody, to the new councillors that have been voted, the old councillors that are returning. I would like to just bring one issue up, if I may. And I address Councillor Cockrell. I'd just like to say congratulations on winning your seats at Farley Town Council and Scarborough Council. I would like to raise some points about this. So as far as Farley Town Councillor and a Scarborough Borough Councillor, you will have to work within the two systems as you've stated in your 2016 resignation letter to Farley Town Council. And as you know, the systems would exclude you from participating in important discussions and matters you could make decisions on in reference to filing. So at this moment in time you are exactly in the same position as 2016. You mentioned in your resignation letter to Farley Town Council July 2016 that you find that attempting to work within the combination of these two systems is preventing you from working on behalf of the Farley residents, and you are not allowed to participate in important discussions and decision making that will affect filing. You then go on to say that the best way forward is to be in a position that will be of benefit to filing. So retaining your place on the Borough Council would allow you to be the most active and productive in your work for Farley residents. Surely this logical thinking is still current. Why is it necessary to be on two councils only to find you are excluded from important local issues? Councillor Cockrell, I believe your strengths as a councillor are in Scarborough Council. You know how the system works in Scarborough Town Hall, and this experience and knowledge you have would be more beneficial to the community of Farley if you represented Farley solely as a ward councillor. Why do you feel it may be any different now than it was in 2016? If you continue on both councils, you know on important issues concerning Farley, SBC will shut you down, and as a result this will not be beneficial for Farley, because there is a conflict of interest. Have you a change of track of thought on that, Councillor Cockrell?
No, it's the circumstances that have totally changed. When I resigned, I was cabinet member, and within my remit there was the assets, the estates, land and property belonging to the Borough Council, and it was on that I was prevented, because of having an interest in both camps, of speaking. That situation no longer exists, so I'm perfectly content and happy to sit on both councils and work for Farley.
So there's no way they're going to shut you out now.
No.
On issues for Farley.
There is no legitimate reason for anyone to try and stop me talking. Before there was.
Before there was.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there.
No.
That's not. Okay. That's all I wanted clarification on. Thank you very much for that, Councillor Cockrell. That's all, Chair, thank you.
Right, thank you, Mr. Moore, for that. Thank you, Councillor Cockrell, for replying. Is there any more public question time? Questions? No? We'll carry on then. We'll go on to number 4, North Yorkshire Police Report. Normally we have a constable here to give a report out. I think they've given a report.
The report is available, yes, that's been said.
The report is available for any new members to have a look at.
Yes, that's all.
Everybody's got it good. Is there any comments on that report?
The report, Chair.
No? Could I have a proposer and a seconder for that? Proposer Colin Haddington, Councillor Colin Haddington. You're out of you, sir. And seconder Councillor Cockrell. All those in favour of that, please show. Okay. We'll move on now. Number 5. Borough Councillors, Borough and County Councillors reports. 8. Scarborough Borough Council Councillors reports. Council to receive reports from the Scarborough Borough Councillors for filing council area. Councillor Cockrell first, would you like to give a report of, if any?
We do it alphabetically in the past, Chairman, so we Councillor Casey.
I would see how I've got it on here. I've gone on the oldest one. All right, Councillor Cockrell. Okay.
Thank you, Kevin.
Well, you started it, haven't you?
I forwarded the report. It was delayed because I was actually updating after the council meeting today at the borough. The one thing I would add to it is that I have also just this afternoon forwarded the latest cobble drawings to the borough.
Yes. Right, and as part of that will be brought at the first, again, part of the first property meeting to go through that as a first opportunity for discussion.
Okay. Is there any questions for Councillor Cockrell? Councillor Wilkie.
Could I just ask you about the pins on the railings? Yeah. I apologise if I've misread it, so I've only seen it tonight. So, I was saying that the railings aren't treated with anything or prepared before they're painted, or they just painted over the top?
No, they have the proper paint system that you have for galvanised.
So it's prepared and...
Whether it was modern tea or whatever, it was just, it's being put down to the conditions that were appertaining at the time of the
as they were applying it, rather than what was on it and not being right. I thought that's how I thought I read it, but...
And I think have you seen the picture?
Yeah, I've just sort of briefly saw.
I think it just shows the difference. It happens, but it's being redone at no cost.
Well, the good thing, I was going to say, there's no cost. And the second thing, obviously, there's a bit about the toilets, which we know has been a big emotive issue in Harley. Me personally, I would support talking to the borough on the toilets going forward, because I think in the past it's fair to say that I felt that we were being told what was going to be happening, rather than Scarborough Borough Council would not enter into any discussions about anything, as far as I can remember. So I would welcome this town council in discussions with Scarborough Council. Because we'd rather be included in the talks and discussions rather than just being told what we're having. The fact still remains that the buildings are falling down and it costs loads of money to repair, so at least we'll be in the discussions rather than being told like it or wouldn't it. So I would support that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Councillor Holden Banks.
Just with regards to the toilets, is that I do believe that the new leader is sympathetic to the toilets anyway, situation.
From what he was saying.
From what he was saying.
He said he wanted to review the situation.
Yeah. So, and with what Councillor Haxby said, I quite agree with having a discussion with Scarborough Council, which I do believe is on the agenda for June anyway, and hopefully get to meet the leader and move forward in that regard, and maybe the toilets be one of the discussion points that we can have once we know which councillors under that portfolio for the toilets. I just agree the toilets are something that we really need to get on with. Thank you.
All right, thank you for that. All right. Right. Is there any more questions for Councillor Cockrell? No? Okay then, Councillor Casey, would you like to say something?
Well, obviously I've only been a councillor for a very short while, so I haven't got anything to report really, other than I want to thank everybody, all my supporters and all my voters, and commiserate really with Councillor Alden Banks was very gracious, only losing by one vote, so we were both very good to really. Since being elected, it's been a whirlwind. I've been in the town hall every day trading, and you don't realise until you're the council how much is actually involved. So all I wanted to tell you was, stuff you obviously still know, the leader of the council is Steve Stevens, who's the Labour group, and we've got a new cabinet of 3 of the stay leader, 4. We've elected a mayor and a deputy mayor today, and that's Councillor Hazel Linsky and Councillor Roberta Squires. And a new chief executive has been selected, and from now on in I look forward to working alongside colleagues at SBC and Barley Town Council to better represent this town. Thank you.
Right, thank you for that. Has anybody any questions for Councillor Casey? Okay, thank you for that. We'll move on then to Councillor Cross.
Thank you, Chair. Firstly, a warm welcome to all the new councillors. It's nice, as I say, I've been coming into this room for over 14 years, and to see so many new faces, and you know, we've got a fair gender split almost at the present time. You know, there's lots of lovely ladies on the council, so it's very pleasing to see that. As we go back to the borough, and welcome to the new returnees as part of the Barley Town Council. If we go back to the borough, we've actually seen a monumental change in leadership of the borough over the last few days. You know, I mean, it's been controlled by the Conservatives for probably 30 plus years, and now we're actually seeing a new change. And also at the same time, we've actually had 20 new councillors on the borough, and that is, you know, like Councillor Casey, they've been running around a little bit like headless chickens, being trained up. They've hit the headlights like many councillors here, you know, rabbits in the headlights. What have I done? What have I signed up to? How much work does it all involve? And you will all find that out, you know, in the newness of time. What's actually happened is I spoke to Steve Siddons, the new leader, and I've also met before the new chief executive. I've had confirmation from the new leader, Steve Siddons, who has made some very bold comments that he's going to open toilets in the Scarborough area. Toilets new, well, all we want is filings and just keeping open, and that will be stress to him. I've asked Steve Siddons to come and talk to the council in, you know, positive working together, and he has confirmed once the new chief executive has started, he's due to start on the 28th of August, you know, he will be coming and he will be visiting Barley Town Council, and you know, there we can start positive dialogue working and put the past behind us. We've got new councillors, a new cabinet. In that cabinet, from the council point of view, we've got Janet Jefferson, who many of you will have come across, who is really a hard-working councillor, and she's been on the borough over 20 years, and she's taken a lot of the issues that we have on file. So, you know, I think we've got to be positive in this time, you know, that we actually do work and, you know, achieve something. The problem that we've got is at the borough, we've got to make £5 million worth of saving over the next 4 years. That's 1.25 million a year because of the cuts to the grant that we received. And as most people are aware, we've also spent a lot of money have been spent, you know, whether we're talking the £1.5 million of the stabilisation of the cliff, £9 million unsecured loan to Alpamare, £4 million knocking the futurists down, the open air theatre fiasco. You know, the papers, you've read it all over many years, and it's still there. You know, I mean, there still is the problems, and you know, he's got a job to try and sort it all out, and I'll be honest, you know what I mean, it's a job that I wouldn't want, you know, trying to sort you know, the finances of the council out, because that's what everything's about in this world, finances. So good luck to Steve. As I say, we'll come and visit the council, and we will have regular, you know, dialogue between, and you know, I wish you all the best, you know, for Farley Town Council for the next 4 years, and I hope you enjoy your stay, you know, as councillors. Thank you.
Thank you for that, Councillor Cross. Is any questions to Councillor Cross, please? Councillor Parsons.
Scarborough Council. Are they responsible for the railings on Cargate Hill as well?
Pardon?
Who's responsible for the railings on Cargate Hill?
The parking on Cargate Hill.
The railings.
Yeah, the railings on Cargate Hill.
Are they Scarborough?
They will be Scarborough Boroughs, yeah.
Can I ask why they've not been repaired? There's a railing missing at the top, and the bottom one broke. There's just a barrier up, with a couple of cable ties over the top. It's really there. I mean, if somebody falls into that, they'll be straight onto Cargate Hill.
Yeah.
You feel like that for weeks and weeks now. It's a safety issue. Why can't it be done?
Councillor
They
Cockrell.
are the county council responsibility.
Oh,
Yeah. And this is your county councillor here. Okay. Just a minute, David.
That issue was reported to Andrew Stanton as part of a walk around we had in April. So it is being actioned that already. May not have happened as yet, but it was part of the walk around.
So Scarborough are responsible for the railings on the front. The county council is responsible on Cargate Hill.
Okay, Councillor Cockrell to answer that.
Yeah, county council are responsible for the railings adjacent to the public highway. See, from not being a public highway, Borough Council.
Councillor Crawford Gage.
Yeah, I was just going to ask, I know Jim Dillon's leaving. Is it May, June?
June. Yeah.
Who's the acting chief exec?
What's going to actually happen is there is also 3 directors there already, and they're going to be asked up for that period of 6 weeks, where effectively there will be no chief executive.
Right. Okay, is there any more questions, Councillor Stapleton?
I'd just like to wish Sam all the best in his endeavours. I'm sure you'll need all the best wishes you can get. When we do eventually get back to hopefully executive meetings with the board, I hope that we have a little bit more headway with the new leader and the new chief exec, as we did have the outgoing ones.
Yeah, all I can say on that, John, is that's what we're working towards. As I say, I've spoken to him already. It's only just appointed his cabinet today, and they are all already keen to, get involved.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Gage.
Was I right in surmising that there's more Labour councillors now, and is there like an even number of independents and a smaller number? Last time I kind of looked at it, it was a really even split between Labour and independents when I think it.
We have, there is 13 Labour councillors, 10 independent councillors, 2 Greens, 1 UKIP, 1 totally independent, and then there's a cluster of independent members, which is 3, and then you've got 16 Conservative councillors. And so what's happened, we've sort of agreed a partnership deal with the Labour group to have some new ideas on the matter.
Right, thank you for that. Councillor Wilkie.
Sorry, Sam, could someone explain the difference between the groups of independent councils then? So there's one independent, there's one a group of 3, there's several independents.
There's 10, and there's no. There's 10 independent members that work as an independent group. Then there's a cluster of independent members, including Councillor Cockrell, Councillor Popwell and Councillor Chapp will work for a cluster of independent members, and then there's one guy that doesn't know what day of the week it is. No, it will just be the purely
I don't get the difference between the 10 independent members as an independent members and 3 independent members that are independent members. What's the difference?
Well, we work as a group. I mean, like the cluster of
So
independent.
are the 3 different to the 10?
Well, yes and no. You know, you'd have to ask them that. Yeah.
If they're Yorkshire Coast really.
Is there anybody else wish to ask Councillor Cross? No, we'll move on then to North Yorkshire County Councillor's report. Councillor Slayers.
Well, I haven't really got...
Before you start, Councillor Slayers, just introduce you to some of these councillors that won't know.
Well, I was just going to say welcome to all these new faces. Well, I'm Helen Slyers and I am your county councillor. I've never done borough, I've only ever done county, so I can't help you anything in that. We must always look to Salmond and Costa Mike for anything to do with the borough. But it is nice to see so many new faces, while of course we miss our old faces. But I look forward to working with you and to getting to know you better. I haven't got a great deal to add because it's not that long ago since I gave a report and there isn't really an awful lot to add.
If you could just update us on what was asked then, please.
I haven't really. The coastal path at Hummonby Gap and Primrose Valley, it's a Natural England project, and the lady in question, Carol Milner, has been asking why it had come inland rather than going straight across and about a bridge that was there. So it's Natural England that's doing this pathway around Britain. They're actually doing the work. There was a consultation which ended about a year ago, at which there were 2 objections which were passed on, and then the inspector came out to have a look. The bridge at the Gill would not, the lady said it would be small, but they tell me that it would not have been small, and it was felt there would be more disturbance to wild life, etc., cutting across, and the landowners didn't really want it. The path is coming into the bay along the edge of an arable field, therefore causing less impact to wildlife, then back out to rejoin the coast. So I hope that answers that one. And does anyone know the name of the lady that was sort of sitting in the middle somewhere here that was asking something about childcare?
Me. That was me.
Was that you?
Yeah,
Oh, right, brilliant.
Councillor Gay.
Brilliant, yes. Now, did you mean extra days, or did you mean the length of the days?
It's just extra days, just like extra sessions, you know, for the children in the area.
Yes, well, I haven't really got very far with it because because when I got back and I thought, was it the length of the days or was it
Yeah, no,
extra days?
the frequency on that call.
Yes. Well, I thought so, but I'll talk to you later about it, shall I? Because rather than everyone else sitting through it and elongating it. Now, what I did think I ought to just bring to your attention, that tomorrow the executive will be meeting with the County Council's Corporate Director of Health and Adult Services to discuss some new proposals regarding changes to the care charging policy, which is very important for quite a lot of people in this area. The executives are being asked to approve the plans to change the way that people pay for the adult social care services. The changes, this follows a public consultation which ended in January. And the services will continue to be subsidised subsidised significantly by the county council, and any increase to charges would be a contribution rather than the full cost. So no one's been asking to pay the full cost, that it is a contribution. The recommendations are the full cost of care is taken into account when charging people who use services. The new charges will come into place from September 2019 for people currently using these services, and from June 2019 for new customers. The charges for transport provided by adult social care to places where people receive a service, for example, a day service, is increased to £5 per journey from the 1st of September 2019, with charges capped at £30 per week. And from the 1st of April 2021, the cost will increase to £7.50 per journey, with a cap of £40 per week. Now, these charges are blanket. The distance isn't really taken into a charge, because I mean, in a county such as ours, you'll appreciate that some people have a considerable way to travel, and some not so far. So, nationally, there's an expectation that people who can afford to pay towards the cost of their services do so. And some of North Yorkshire County Council's charges have not been reviewed in must be nearly 10 years. Residents and service providers were consulted on 2 proposals around the transport costs and contributions to the full cost of care. The main impact is on people who have 2 care workers supporting them at the same time, as the council currently only includes the cost of one of the workers in how much it charges. The recommendation reflects changes to the proposals that have been made following the consultation. If these changes are approved at the meeting tomorrow, everyone who uses adult social care services will be contacted to let them know how the charge changes will affect them individually. It will be ensured that the appropriate level of care is in place and in every case, and that people understand the reasons behind the changes. And North Yorkshire always has, and it will, advise anyone on how they can claim other benefits and support to which they may be entitled, because very often you find that people don't know everything they're entitled to. So that's been in place for some time now, and it's proved very useful. So that was just a heads up to let you know what's happening. Because we've always supported adult social care as much as possible, and we're very grateful for the additional funding that we got from the government, and we have raised the additional council tax through the social care precept, and it's been a protected budget as much as possible, to the point where the social care is now 45% of total council spending. However, given that adult social care is the council's largest budget, and there are other important commitments, for instance, to children and to parents and to road users, the list just goes on. The council still has to make savings and look critically at how it's spending taxpayers' money. So that's all I can tell you at the moment. So we'll look tomorrow to see if the proposals are accepted.
Sorry, Helen.
Yeah, you can put your hand up, yes.
Who makes that decision then? Is it a committee?
The executive,
right?
And they're meeting with the corporate director of adult and social services tomorrow. The executive meets every Tuesday.
Right. Is that the, like, chief of
Yes, it's the panel at the
yeah,
at the top.
head of the department?
Yeah. Yes. And everything goes through the executive, you know, all these important decisions. And then it will probably go to, well, it will go to full council to be absolutely ingrained. Is there anything else on that point?
No?
No?
Carry on.
The locality grant starts today. So I shall be looking at the list I've already got, because I've got some carried on. But I am looking for potential spend on the £5,000 on the locality grant and £5,000 on the environmental grant. And I would like to get on with them.
Well.
Well, so often, not for the detriment of something worthwhile coming forward, but we want to spend well and we want to spend quickly, really.
Exactly.
And can I just wish the new council through Sam all the best in their endeavours, and take this opportunity, because I think we will be having another walkabout with highways, so that could be very beneficial. But perhaps we could ask if the Borough Council would like to send someone along, because as you've already heard today, there's always a discussion going on about whose bit of grass or whose tree or whose railing it is. So it would be very useful if they could come along as well, I think.
Yes. Councillor Gage again.
Me, I know. Somebody sent me a message about a street in Firelake called Claremont Avenue. It's on the corner of Raycliffe Avenue and what's the one, help me out here?
It's sort of behind Mitchell Street.
Yeah. And there's a wall and there's a railing. So there used to be a wall there, there's a railing, and people go up and down there. I don't actually know who's responsible for it, whether or not it's supposed to be an accident, but it is really dangerous. And the person that lives there has got small children. And it's kind of used as a cut through, but this wall is crumbling away, the railing doesn't look safe.
To the back of the fire station.
Yeah.
Very amazing you're still there.
There needs to be something, because it's not very safe, is it?
Sorry, back at the fire station?
Yeah.
Councillor Haddington.
Once you finish this slide, another question.
Yeah, she's all right. She's good at...
Yeah.
A number of years ago, North Yorkshire County Council was trying to identify a piece of land in Fireley or very near to build a new care home to replace Silver Birches, but that didn't seem to gather momentum.
It's going to the Scarborough Council for planning on the 31st of May.
Well, that's good news. So we can wish to see then a care facility carrying on with the same, how can I put it, local feeling that we get from people with regard to Silver Birches, and that if Silver Birches is closed, there will still be a nursing, a care.
Oh yes. I mean, there's no way that Silver Birches would be closed without something else being in place.
Because at the moment that is a concern in this town.
Yes.
And I think people who have got relatives in there need to be reassured.
I did report quite fully on it at the annual parish meeting. So if you'd like to see me later, I can give you the rundown, because it's rather than have everyone sit through it again.
Okay. Councillor Haxby.
Just a couple of points, Helen. One is Scarborough Road at the bottom of Laundry Hill. There seems to be a permanent water leak down there.
So it's
Why is
at the bottom where?
Laundry Hill, opposite the old infant school, where Councillor Casey lives. Whilst it might not be a county council responsibility to mend the leak, there are fears that it's undermining the structure of the road and we'll end up with another sinkhole.
So is it running across the road then?
It's on the road, yeah. There's been water there for quite a while.
Yeah.
Unless they've mended it today,
No,
That's
Well,
something
it's
I
certainly
like.
still there. Secondly, I've had complaints about the road surface on Muston Road between the level crossing and Wharfdale and beyond. It is becoming an absolute nightmare, especially for school children going up there on the bicycle. That road surface now is way beyond its sell-by date, and it certainly needs looking at. It is absolutely terrible.
Actually, I was thinking that myself, but not, I don't know.
And finally, Colin might remember, I don't know, when the guy bought the old Butlin site to build the bay development, there were complaints that he'd actually put a fence across the public footpath, which was a coastal path, right along the coast side of Butlins and beyond. And he'd actually fenced it off, so people were diverted, I think, onto the A165. And we complained then as a council that this public footpath had been blocked off. Obviously he wanted people kept out because he wanted to develop the
And
site.
that's still happening, is it?
Well, we were told that the footpaths officer, and this is going back...
Well, I mean, they'll have gone into the footpaths in the area quite detailed when Natural England...
No, I don't think they did. They didn't realise it was a footpath until people brought it to this council that he blocked it off. And we were told the footpaths officer was looking at it. And I think it's all part and parcel of the Butcher Haven bridge and that side of the footpath. So he's quite happy to send people inland rather than walk across the front of his development. But, as I say, your footpaths officer was looking at it 15 years ago, and nothing ever came back to this council. So it could be all part
Well,
and
I
parcel.
did go in when I was inquiring about this bridge, and we did look at the map, and of course I wasn't aware of any diversion. So you're saying sorry, just let me get it clear.
There was a footpath from Primrose Valley
Yes,
to Humbleby Gap
yeah,
along the cliff edge.
yes.
When he bought the old Butlin site, he built a massive fence which blocked off that footpath.
Right.
So everybody had to go inland along the A165 and back down, I think, Humbleby Gap, I'm not sure on that, and then back onto the cliff top. People complained, so this council brought it to the attention of North Yorkshire, who said their footpaths officer would be looking into it, but obviously he's got lots of stuff on.
Yes.
But it could be part and parcel of the same problem.
Yeah.
You know, it makes sense that if you're walking from Flamborough to Finey Brig, you walk along the cliff top.
Yeah.
Why, when you suddenly hit the old Butlins on the new bay development, you have to go inland across and back?
Well, I mean, you obviously have to be careful of wildlife and that sort of consideration.
But that wasn't, it was a footpath originally.
Yeah.
I can remember walking it because we used to crawl under the fence into Butlin when we were kids, to get free entry.
I'll get down and see if I can catch him again. And
So, you know,
ask him.
but it's going back a long while, Helen.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Anything else?
Yeah, Councillor Holden Bank.
At the parish council meeting, there was a lady that came from Humbleby Gap regarding a sign that said there was public toilets,
Yeah.
and there isn't any public toilets, but the sign still says so. So when we have the walk around Pride, I think we could sort of envelop Primrose Valley and Humbleby Gap in this walk come drive around. Because I've also got a resident who's written a letter regarding...
That is something else.
Yeah, well, this is South Cliff Drive where they live, which has always been a private road. It's a road that leads down to Primrose Valley to the beach.
Primrose Valley, yeah.
This is Primrose Valley, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, well, again, it's not really my patch.
Is that not yours, County Council, Primrose Valley?
Well, I only, my boundary is Filey.
Right, so who would I go to for this then?
Primrose Valley.
Primrose Valley must be in the...
Roberta Swires.
It'll be Roberta.
Yeah.
Roberta Squires.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I'll take that to Roberta.
Yeah. I mean, I can look into it for you if you like.
Yeah, definitely. It's just a private road that people, the signs that used to be, the signs have now gone, there is double yellow lines, but obviously the season's here and everybody and his wife's parking down this private road. And obviously if you wanted to get fire engines or ambulances or whatever else down there, there's double treble parking and residents can't get in. The only way to, and only from there down is down the hill to the actual beach. So So there's nothing to go there for unless you're parking to go to the beach.
So it's the signs that are all wrong.
The signs that are wrong, I think they've been taken down, knocked down. They historically have been there. They are on Google Map. I've Googled it. You can see they were there. And there is double yellow lines. Some have faded, might need readdressing. But it is a private road. And as I said, once you go down there, the only place to go is down the hill to the beach. So the residents there are having a dreadful time to try and get in and out of the drive.
Yeah.
Because people are just parking. So I had a letter here written asking to look into the clarity of the private road and make sure it's well signed again.
Right, I'll see what I can find out.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for that, Councillor Holden. Banks, Councillor Mills?
I just had a question about what Councillor Haddington was saying about silver birches. I might be completely wrong here. But when you spoke at the annual meeting, did you say that the care houses that are possibly going to be built on Scarborough Road, that they were going to be certain houses left open for silver? So would that be the replacement to silver birches?
Yes,
or would there be
it's an
something
extra
else?
care scheme.
So instead of
Which,
silver birches?
I mean, I'll try and organise if anybody wants, if is interested, I'll try and organise to look round one, because Scarborough had one of the very first, if not the first, and everyone seems to get a bit better. Some of them were excellent, well they're all excellent, but you know, some work really well, and the idea is to where they work really, really good. It's places like Bainbridge, which is very much a centre within the village, because it's really well located, that one. It can't always just manage that, because it's where you can get a site. But everybody's got their own front door, and they've all got a little apartment, and care packages can be altered accordingly, you know, once they go in and perhaps need a bit more care and all that kind of thing.
But I think, are you saying about the silver birches that people in Filey want something equivalent rather than a care facility like that where they've got their own apartment? Because obviously silver birches have a different kind of approach, which is the impression that I've got from the people that have, you know, relatives in silver birches.
I think it would be best just to take you to see one, because I think that would be the easiest. Because I think you will like it. I mean, I would go and live in one, which I wouldn't be too keen about. I mean, I don't want to be disparaging of care homes. But you know, you're not going to rush into one, right?
Yeah.
Right, I've got Councillor Wilkie. I've got Councillor Holden Banks and Councillor Randall. Those that will speak next. Councillor Wilkie.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to revisit the parking vehicles going along Grange Avenue and Clarence Drive. You've mentioned this many times. These two roads were the ambulance routes, and they are constantly jammed up with cars. You've probably able to agree on that. You know, Grange Avenue especially, you know, I've come down there tonight and there's just cars all over the place. It just needs looking at seriously and getting a proper scheme up that road.
Well, as I've said, I am trying to push, although it's not having any success, which because it's a long time. As far as I can find out, it's a long time since Filey had any kind of reviewing of its parking. Now, we can't make any more parking places, but I think
it's
it
not
would be...
necessarily parking there, it's just a scheme to make people parking as the way that the ambulances can get up there without getting jammed in. It's horrendous. And it's not just school times, it's all the time. There's cars parked up on the grass verges next to their houses. You know, it's just ridiculous. And Clarence Drive is, again, another one. Cars come along that road, 30, 40 mile an hour. It's got to be slowed down somehow.
Yeah, well, I mean, a lot of the problem always comes back to enforcement.
There needs to be some traffic calming scheme or some proper scheme to limit where people can park double yellows in certain areas. You know, you're not telling me that North Yorkshire County Council can offer a scheme on those roads to allow passing places and to secure ambulance. You know, what happens if an ambulance has an accident going on?
Well, could we put it on the next
It's got to
quarter?
be on
I was
the
going to
agenda or
suggest,
something.
Yes.
put it on the next quarter, Kevin.
Next
And
walk.
then, yes,
I think
and
that
then
would be best.
one of the head guys from North York should be there. Okay?
Yes.
On that one, and that will...
I think for a lot of,
Something has to be done.
for a lot of
Okay, do it like that.
these road, street issues, I think the walkabout is a
It's
very
good.
good way. You can actually see on our feet,
Yeah,
rather than me trying to explain it.
You do have to see it. I mean, there's cars parking upon the verges, they're just destroying the grass verges.
Needs to be at the right
It's all, yeah.
Well, you can, I mean, as you say, this matter's been brought up before, I've gone and talked about it.
Nothing wrong with redoubling our efforts
Yeah,
and trying to get something done.
Yeah.
You can't just accept a no.
Yeah, well, I think the thing to do would be to look at it in a
Yeah.
walkabout.
It would, then you've got your officer there to actually see it as well.
And it would be
Okay,
useful to
on that
have the
one.
Scarborough Borough Council there, because in some cases, the bit of grass doesn't belong to us.
No. I mean, I'm surprised the ambulance service haven't mentioned it or reported it.
And then they could maybe call in at the ambulance station, which isn't far away from there, and that's their opinion as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
You'd be lucky if there's anybody in.
Well, I said if.
Well, you know, if we can find a solution, then I think the ambulance service maybe needs consulted.
Yes, right, so thank you for that. Councillor Hogan then.
Might just going back to the new build at top of Scarborough Road that we discussed. I think from my understanding of a lot of the local residents is it isn't just the fact that you can, you know, either rent or partially buy into these. It's offering respite care. That people like Silver Birch is now just respite care. So if you come out of hospital, there's nowhere
Well,
else to go.
I've been told that was all being taken into consideration.
It's the fact it's the biggest thing, it's the fact the only place we've got left in private office is this service.
Yeah.
And also people looking after carers, or carers can go in there to put the people they're caring in so the carers can have a break from it, and that is the only thing we have in this area that's left. So that is paramount that we have that.
Yeah, well, it has all had a mention, and I'm fully expecting that will all be in there.
But I know, thank you.
Councillor Randall.
Yeah, mine was on the same point, but the thing is, adult social care will reassess everybody in Silver Birches, I would assume, to look at their needs. And the fact is, not everybody, I would assume, would be able to go into the new facility.
Well,
because of the cost factor, and also, you know, they may not be able to meet everybody's need, which then would mean that those people would actually be placed out of town.
Right.
So I don't think it's an automatic that everyone will transfer.
They and
to the
their
new
families
facility.
will all be in discussion, you know, when we know for sure that this is going to happen, first off. But it will all be discussed with them individually.
I know it's controversial, but I mean, you know, going to like private sector and the cost of actually renting or buying such a property and the maintenance charges attached to that, it's astronomical. So not everybody will be in that position. I'm just putting it out there.
Okay. It's just another thing to add for your list.
This is why I think to visit one and you can ask all these questions. I think that would be a good thing.
Exactly. Councillor Gage?
That's right.
Okay, we'll cross you off. Councillor Wilkie?
Yeah, just on the care facility again. It's coming in for planning, and you know there's going to be a lot of things like you just mentioned there about the cost and everything else. And you'll all know that Scarborough Borough Council will have the final say on the planning application. So we've got to make the people of the town aware of what the issues are, and everybody has got to comment on the website, Scarborough Borough Council. Because we'll discuss it as a committee, the planning committee, whoever's on there, and we'll make our feelings known. But ultimately, it's got to go to Scarborough Borough Council, and they're quite within the right to say this is just what Filey needs. So, you know, it's important that we do try and get people, as many people
They
as
will be
possible.
dealing with planning issues.
They only deal with planning issues, yeah, it's got to be around the planning issues. And that, I think that's part of the thing with a lot of the comments on planning applications. It's all about your heart and what you feel and what you think. They'll take no notice of that whatsoever. It is just planning.
Right, thank you for that, Councillor Wilkie. Councillor Robinson. They're on the side, okay? You have a job to read them.
Personally, I think it's in totally the wrong place. Silver Birches, the elderly people there that are well enough can go out into town.
Did you go to the consultation?
No.
Well, what can I say?
Well, just to jump on to Councillor Robinson's point.
Councillor Gage, can you just hang a minute? Let the Councillor...
It's very, very difficult to find. I mean, we've been looking in Filey, in around Filey, for an awful long time to find a site.
You're putting elderly, presumably sick people, as far away from the town as you can possibly get without being out of town. It's the most ridiculous place to put them.
Is that the new building site you're talking about on Scarborough Road?
Yes.
Well, that hasn't gone through planning.
No, I know that.
But that's what we're discussing, isn't it?
Yes, but the time to have said this was at the consultation.
But I didn't know there was a consultation.
There was. It was very well advertised, actually.
Well, I don't know where, because I didn't see anything.
Yeah. Okay. We are at... now, yes, come in, Councillor Gage.
I was just going to say, back to the consultation thing, I think the whole system of consultation and the way that it's publicised needs to be looked at. Because in this day and age, when such a strong social media presence, everything online, it should kind of like be put more out. No, but it's more in the public domain kind of thing. When it's something like this, such an emotive issue that affects so many people, I don't think, the days when it's just a planning application is sellotape to a lamppost. I don't think it really, it really fits.
Well, to be honest, they have to be sellotaped to give the public chance to read them and put their objections in or anything like that. That's why they're there.
I know this, but also I just think, we should maybe as a new council try and be as transparent as possible and try and get it
that
out
is
there.
Scarborough Borough Council now, but get on to Scarborough Borough Council to ask them if they'll advertise it a lot more, they feel that they're planning thing. And that's what you can do at the next full council meeting. Because it isn't on the agenda on this one, you cannot speak about it really. Okay, or make a decision about it. Alright?
Yeah.
Okay. At this point, I'm going to adjourn, move standing order 3E and adjourn the meeting to allow Councillor Casey to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm going back to the smelly grapes that Councillor Axby mentioned, at the leak on Scarborough Road. It all started in those heavy rains a couple of weeks ago, with an issue on the drains on Laundry Road up by the carpet shop, and if you look now at the crate outside there, it's full to the brim with scum and muck and filth and sewage, and I think that's the issue. There's a really bad smell there as well. There's obviously a backup, and that's something
Do you think it's just the gullies need cleaning?
I think it could be that, yeah, because since those heavy rains it's been just full to the brim, and there's a proper stench when you're walking down there. So that could be an easy fix. I don't know, I'm no expert on water issues.
Okay. Councillor Cockrell saying so. No, just me, Councillor Cockrell, because you're a fine town councillor now, right? I have to adjourn. I have to now end the adjournment. I know it's all down here in black and white. I've got to do it. You understand that? And because you're a town councillor as well, you can speak in here when you like, right? Through the chair, obviously. Okay. But once you're speaking as a borough councillor, up here, yes, with two hats on, right? You give your report as a borough councillor, right? The members have a chance to ask questions on that, okay, and then you go back to by the town councillor, like, really. I know it seems a long way around it, but this is how you have to do it, okay. I went through this last Wednesday at YLCA. I cornered her and I went through it, and with some other issues I have. Okay, so I knew what I was saying. All right. So, okay.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, the water that Councillor actually mentioned, as I've driven by, I've noticed it, but it just seems to be almost as though it's just weeping out of the ground. I don't think it's actually running down Laundry Hill. I think it's actually weeping out of the ground. So I would have thought it would be Yorkshire water.
Yorkshire water.
I think it could be connected. I have seen water seeping down onto Scarborough Road.
Well, can this one's noted and reporting to Yorkshire Water, then if it's possibly could...
Yes, we'll stop there.
Are you recording that?
Yeah, and you can as well, I might get some of them as well then. Okay.
I can tell them it's been...
Yes, yeah. All right. Anything else, Helen?
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No, just a reminder that we do have the locality and environmental budget now open.
Right, so that's now open, that's £5,000, is that correct?
Yes, I
For
do
Helen,
have a number to look at.
yes, for Helen to give out to any good causes that she appreciates. Put it that way.
Couple of things. If anyone's got any suggestions for the locality grant or the environmental grant that Helen, please bring them to me first, and I'll pass them on to Helen and make sure that they're discussed and hopefully put in place, and we can bring that to the appropriate committee meeting to discuss how best to approve it in exact detail. Just a couple of things for clarification with respect to the care home facility. The consultation that was advertised by NYCC was in fact handed out to all of our then councillors to participate in the consultation. Secondly, the planning permission for the development on Scarborough Road, we have actually received that planning application already, and we have already put in an objection to that. The objection is on two grounds. One, it is an objection to more dwellings than were outlined on the local development plan, and secondly, it is with respect to the state of the land, i.e. that it is subject to flooding. Just so you're aware that it has come in and we have objected.
Okay. Councillor Mills.
I just had a quick question about the grants. So those grants, are they something that if there's a council or committee or whatever decided, could that go towards...
No, it's at my discretion, anybody can...
No, but I mean what we put forward, or can any of us put anything forward?
Well, yes, but well, it's the environmental program, because I really do want to get something that is of value to as many people as possible. And I do have a little project that I've been pushing, but nobody seems to take up very much. But I just want it to be well spent for the benefit as many people as possible.
Right.
Through you, Chair, sorry. Sorry, one point. Do we all know the criteria for that?
Oh.
Because as new council, we don't know the criteria, that's all. Might be worth doing.
Obviously, it's...
the clerk's got it on.
Yeah, shall I send them? Yeah, and then you can email it round. I mean, it's going to take...
Yes, and then the clerk will hand them out to all your councillors. Okay.
It's just that we've got new council as well.
No, it's a good point.
This is the point. Councillor Holden Vance.
Thank you. I would just like to agree with the clerk that I chaired the planning meeting with regard to the new build at the top of Scarborough Road, and we've discussed it. Great.